Good afternoon, everyone. This is Cheryl Cooper with the Cheryl Cooper, and this is day 3 of Mastermind 1111, and it has been very awesome. It has been incredible. The people, the speakers, the people that have attended, the conversations that have occurred have been amazing. Right now, we're going to kick off a session with Larissa Russell, and she's going to talk to us about intuitive journaling. And she's also going to talk to us about how intuitive journaling feeds into driving our business and developing a business online. And I'm going to ask her to talk to us a little bit about how she has used it and how she is using her newest product offering of creating online events of summits, how she's using that and how she helped me to design this one. So, Larissa Russell, the stage is all you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. And I have to say, after, coming in after Sharon, it was like, whew, all right, we've got some serious energy in here, but I'm going to take it down a little bit so that we can actually get inside. So before we start, I'll just tell a little bit about myself. And so Larissa Russell, yes, of Creative You. And I started my online business, Creative You, solely to bring creativity to people to help them heal. And originally I thought, okay, let's do this creativity and it's just going to help people heal, because that's what I use to help myself heal from really deep bouts of depression. And when I used my creativity, journaling, painting, different things like that, it really helped me. And it evolved into being more specific, like not just creating, but like, let's create specifically to help ourselves heal. And from that, we started a publishing business. We started a shop. And now we've moved into the business realm as well, because so many women now come to me that are creatives and healers, and they want to build their business. So we now have Creative You Business as well. So lots of different aspects to our business. And a lot of that comes from this journaling. I do journaling every single day. And when I started doing intuitive journaling, it really sort of took a deep dive into what you really need. Because often we get sort of caught up in what do we need versus what do we want, right? What do we really need to be doing versus what do we think we want to be doing? And then we start to second guess ourselves. And intuitive journaling allows us sort of to listen to what we should be doing, listen to what we need, what we actually need. So Cheryl, do you have any questions about that before we start a small session?
You know, I do, because I'm like, so what exactly is intuitive journaling, and how do you set up a space for it? Do you incorporate it into your programs that you offer? Do you do it in group coaching? I could ask you 1,000 questions, but you understand where I'm going, right?
Yes, absolutely. So think about, have you read Conversations with God?
You remember that book? You don't remember?
No, you don't remember? Okay, well, you're missing out if you haven't read that book. Neil Donald Walsh. And that is the true epitome of intuitive journaling, right? Because you're asking a question and you're getting the answer and you're writing it down as you go. So you're talking to God, spirit, universe, whoever you want to call it, whatever fits with you. You're actually talking to your higher self, your best self, to ask the questions and be given the answers. And we're going to do a small sampling of that in a few minutes. But the whole idea is you stop sort of spinning your wheels because you're asking the universe to give you the answer. And if you're open to it, it will, right? It will actually give you the answer. And so when you, because as humans, we get caught up in all of the like self-doubt is the biggest part of it, right? We doubt ourselves, we doubt our abilities, we doubt whether it's going to be good enough, we doubt whether the people will show up, all of those things. And when we tap into what is best for ourselves and others, because there's always that component of serving others. That's why we're here. We want to help other people. When we can tap into that, we know we're on the right path. And if we consistently tap into it, then we consistently move forward in the right direction. And maybe it doesn't happen as fast as you think it should. Maybe it doesn't happen the way you think it should. But if you tap into that universal spirit, it will always happen the way it absolutely should, right? And so that's really important. I'd like to do like just a little meditation, a short meditation, because I like to set space before I do my intuitive journaling. I don't, because we just kind of have to empty our brain a little bit before we start. And then we'll just do a small session, and then we can talk about sort of what happened and more about that. Would that be all right? Cheryl, do you have any questions before we start that?
No, I don't have any questions, but I did put a link to the YouTube version, book 1 of Neil's Conversation with God. And we did that. Leah Merriweather, who was one of our speakers, she did it on Clubhouse for 8 days. We spent, it might have been longer than that, but we spent an hour a day listening to his Conversation with God, and then we talked about it. And when I tell you, it was a phenomenal experience, and it grew. We held space for people, and then it brought together a community of people that have gone on to do additional things around. I think they're doing Subhuti, Buddha something right now. So
yeah, I haven't read it again recently, but I've read it numerous times in the past. But it's that listening in aspect of Conversations with God, where he was, and sometimes you have to get to that point where you're so frustrated, so sort of downtrodden that you just are willing to open up. But if you can allow yourself to open up without getting to that spot, without getting to the absolute bottom, that is wonderful too, right? Don't wait until everything's horrible before you start asking for help.
How wonderful would life be if we did that, right? But sometimes we just have to have the hard lessons that push us to seek God, universe, spirit, whatever it is that you seek. And then you come into places like this where you learn how to do intuitive journaling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Whenever we are open, that is when we get the most, right? And so allowing ourselves to be open is so important, so important. Cheryl, can I share screen just so I can share music?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. You should have access already.
Yeah, I do. Just going to put some music on just to help us settle in a little bit. Can you hear that all right? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to ask you, sit comfortably, back straight. You want hands open to the sky to receive, eyes closed. And take a slow, deep breath in. And exhale slowly. Another deep breath in, out. As you begin to have awareness of your breath, notice your breath as it goes in, raises your belly, out, lowers your belly. Breathing in, out. Now start to just notice the thoughts that are going through your mind. What are you thinking about? And don't get caught up in it. Just begin to notice them as they travel across your mind. And go as they pass. Watch them come, go. Continuing to breathe. Now just imagine your perfect life, or even just one part of it. What does it look like? What are the details? Who are the people in your life? Where do you live? What do you do? All the details. Just breathing. Imagine the sights, the sounds. What does it feel? Who's there? Can you smell? Touch it, see it. Take a deep breath in. Slowly release. Another deep breath in. Out. Start to bring yourself back to waking consciousness. With your toes and fingers a wiggle. Slowly open your eyes. And welcome back. So that just gives us a little bit of breathing space right there, right? Just sort of settled in. And now what I'd like you to do is just open your mind to all possibilities. And without thought, I'd like you to just write a question on a piece of paper and then write the answer that comes to you. Don't think about it, right? Don't overthink it, just let it flow, because all those answers are within. And so write a question and write the answer. I'll just give you a moment to do that. If you can't think of a question, ask, what should I do? What should I have for dinner tonight? Just start with something easy. And now if you've done one, do another. Ask another question, maybe a little bit deeper. And immediately write the answer. No judgment, just let it flow on the page. And now ask a little bit deeper question, maybe about your business, maybe about your life. Something that has been sticking there. And just flow. And you may not like the answers you get.
Don't like it.
And that's typically how you know that it is coming from spirit, because when we don't like the answer, it's uncomfortable. It feels really, Dorothea, do you want to turn your mic on? There's just a couple of us here, so.
Yeah, my dog is like, he's trying to get my attention. But yeah, it was like, don't like that. Let me noodle on, maybe I'm not asking the question correctly.
But you are asking the question correct. And one of the things we ask ourselves on a daily basis in our head, right? We are constantly, but then we second guess it. We don't like it, all of those things. But when we put it on paper like this, and we ask a question and we let it flow, if we don't like it, it's like, oh, but I can see it, right? And so we don't push it aside as easily.
Yeah.
And typically, the reason we don't like what we see, I have whole arguments on paper. Whole arguments. Typically, it's because it's uncomfortable. It's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know why would I have to do it that way? That, I don't know anything about that. Those sort of things that are really uncomfortable. But that's what we need to be doing, right? We need to move into that uncomfortable place to be able to grow. We stay in our comfort zone. Yeah, Dorothea.
It's uncomfortable. It's so interesting because then it's a gut. It's almost like a gut reaction. Like my gut is definitely talking to me. Isn't that amazing how you transported me into that space so quickly? And my gut is telling me, and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's also full of possibilities, right?
When you say your gut is telling you, talking about is it make you give you butterflies or your intuition?
Yeah. Okay. No, it gives me butterflies.
Yeah.
And it feels like your body might even tense up a little bit, right? Because it's like, I'm not too sure about that. But if you're like, just breathe into, and you can ask more questions about it, right? How can I do that? How, all of those things to sort of help you move forward in it. But allowing it out on the page like that, you can't push it away as easily, right? Because you ask the questions constantly all day long, but you don't like the answers, so you can push them away. When you write it on paper like this, it's a little bit harder to push it away. And it allows you to also dig a little deeper. You can, ask more questions. You can, and I do, sometimes I'll get into it and I'll do like 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes enough with one question, right? I'll ask a question like, I'll come back to that tomorrow.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Larissa, you know what mine was around?
What was yours around?
I want you to just see if you can guess.
Well, I was doing these summits again is what I was thinking.
No. The other one that comes up so often in our conversation, should I stay or should I go?
Yes. Yeah. And?
It got really deep.
Okay. Yeah.
I've always kept you safe. Corporate isn't where you should be. You're being disobedient and cheating others, and it's hurting you.
What an amazing message. Yeah.
Did I make that up?
No, you didn't make that up. But see, this is where our brain comes in and fights it, right? Because it's uncomfortable. We're like, no, it's right there.
It's that resistance, right? And it's the resistance that we continue to build upon in our lives that creates the stress, which creates the infestations in our body and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Do you find that once you like opened yourself up, or has it been your experience that once you open yourself up and once you listen, that things start dropping into place?
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Like as immediately, it could be as soon as you walk through that door.
You know what's so interesting is I love that. I just love the whole thought of the universe is conspiring with you.
Yeah, and it really is. It's there for you if you're willing, right? And that's the thing. So many of us are so busy fighting and we want everything given to us, but we don't want to do any of the work. We don't want to ask. We don't want to, all of those things. Just ask and then follow the direction that you're given.
Are we writing, you said we're writing to our higher selves, our spirit guides?
Whatever you want to call it. It's that universal energy.
Sorry, Doro, can you talk up just a little bit?
Sure. I was asking if we're writing to, or if we're posing the questions to our spirit guides, to our higher selves, to God.
Yeah, and it's whatever you want to call it, it's all one universal energy. So however you want to name it is up to you. But it's all the same. It's all the same.
How does it work?
Well, if I knew that. How does it work? It
Yeah.
has to do with that universal energy wanting the best for you, right? And as humans, we constantly second guess everything. But how does it work? It works by
Right.
listening. It works by listening.
And
Do I-
doing.
and doing, yes. Listening and doing.
And gratitude, right?
Always gratitude. I talk about that all the time. The gratitude for everything. I do my gratitude journaling every night. Yeah.
Is it magical for you? I can imagine this. I think I'm stating the obvious, but I think is it magical for you when you go back and you look at your journals, your intuitive journaling, and you see that something has manifested, and you're like, or you've seen the journey of how it's manifested, and then it's like mind blowing, isn't it? Like you might see a nugget here in this journal, and like I buy journals. I'm looking at a stack of different journals. I buy them. I have a box of journals, and I might write one of them. I'm looking at one right now, which is my grocery list journal, right? What I'm going to pick up at the grocery store. But they're all like barely touched, and I feel like they all have a better purpose. So I might write one thing, and then I'll move on to another one. And now I feel like I have a new purpose for my journals, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I have different journals for different things, right? My intuitive journaling, because it's one I do go back and look at, it's a prettier journal, right? It's sort of a hardcover bound journal. Typically I do my regular stream of consciousness journaling in my art journal with water soluble markers. And then I can take a wet brush and wash it away and put something over top of it. That's just the one you're doing the brain dump to get all that gunk out of your head. That's, I don't need that. I don't need to keep that. If there's a nugget that I need from it, I will write that somewhere else. But intuitive journaling, I have to say, I do put into a fancier journal because I do want to come back to it, right? I want to come back to exploring it and often asking more questions, because one question's never enough, right? Because then you get stuck in the, well, how do I do it? Or, that's never going to happen because blah, 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 right? And so if we can start to dig a little deeper, and then typically once that's sort of manifested, I don't need to look at it anymore. And then, right? So, yeah, but it is very magical, but it's also open to everyone. It's not the type of magic where only special people get it. It's open to anyone willing. So that's really important.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was, ooh, I feel like I want to go right back into it.
Yeah, and you don't have to do a whole guided meditation, although, our gift today is that guided meditation so that you have that. But even if you can just center yourself in some breathing before you start, just do some deep breathing, letting the breath in and out, allowing your body to relax, and then ask questions, write answers, ask questions. And if you find yourself getting tense or paying too much attention to what the answers are and getting caught up in that, just step away from it for today and come back to it. Yeah.
Okay.
But everything is there for you.
That's amazing.
And that's why I now have this multifaceted business that started with trying to share creativity.
So yeah, tell me more.
I was going to say, this is the perfect person for you to have the conversation about creativity with, Larissa. I would love for you to share a little bit more about the products that you have that are associated with that. Your group.
Okay. Yeah. So I have Creative You Healing. So Creative You, that's the letter U, healing.com. And we do a lot of summits on creativity and healing. We have some different courses, summits. We also have our shop. So that with Creative You Healing, it's basically some art therapy type things. Many of our summits are just different creative processes to get us into, whether it be mixed media, working in an art journal, whether it be watercolor. It's different for everybody, right? So we offer a wide range of things for that. And we also have a shop now that has a really amazing sale on right now. Just so you know, Black Friday sale started yesterday. Creative U, that's the letter U.shop.
Okay.
And we have printables. for people to work in their art journal with. We also have different journals. We have jewelry for.
Do you want to just show some of that?
Sure. Yeah. Let me just bring it up here.
Just us.
My computer always wants to go to my website instead of my shop. But I'll just
So I'm gonna, while you're bringing that up, I want to just have this moment and let you know, Dorothea, this this was created for you.
there
Right?
you go. Yeah.
Right?
Because yeah.
Yeah.
This was
Thank
created for
you.
you. Mm.
So we
That's
have
beautiful.
so much jewelry with healing properties, right? So all the gemstones with healing properties, depending on what you need. For instance, lapis lazuli encourages self-awareness, allows self-expression, reveals inner truth. And everything is on 40% off now in the shop until your Thanksgiving. Ours is already over. So different jewelry pieces. And
Those are stunning.
Cheryl's got one of our pieces already. And we also have, this is our creativity journals. So this is for journaling. So there's, oh, I went right to the end. That's not what we want. So there's different prompts each day. There's places to doodle, and then there's journaling pages in there. So we have a couple of those. We have lots of different printables. So whether it be planner stickers or actual gratitude journal printables, so you can print it out yourself. And it's got questions and prompts so that you can print these yourself. So, like I said, everything is 40% off right now.
What about the watercolors you were talking about?
So in our summits, we also have a sale going on right now. November is all about gratitude. So we're having a gratitude sale. And so I'll just bring up that. Thank you, Cheryl, for letting me.
Yeah, this is what this is all about, right? Because this is for us to serve others, and people would not have seen this if you weren't displaying it here. So it's perfect timing.
Yeah. So we have a contest right now. You can win access to a Year in Color Summit. So this is at creativeviewhealing.com or creativeview.ca. We use both. And then our grateful sale. So gratitude to everyone who's here right now. So these are some of our past summits that have been going on. So, and they are 30% off right now with the coupon code GRATEFUL. And so this one, for instance, is 26 healers and creatives. So everything from chakra painting, watercolor, mixed media, dance, vision boarding, this one here. So there's more information about each one of them. You can dive a little deeper. We had an Oracle card creation summit all about creating Oracle cards. And so there's different ways to do that and sort of what to do with them. And then we also had a writing summit. So about getting your book or your story out. Yeah. So those are some of the ones we have on sale right now. And so, oh.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
No, did we lose you again? Oh no, you're still here.
No, I'm still here. Can you, oh, sorry.
Oh.
Okay, here I am.
Yeah.
No, those were amazing.
So those are, yeah, and that's the Creative View healing side. And then our publishing company, of course, we help people publish books. We have a course that we run occasionally on helping people get their story out in the world. And then we now have Creative View Business, which I'll also bring up for you. Share that. And we help creatives and healers specifically, but that's because that's my niche, but I have to say it hasn't been solely that for the people that I've been helping. And this is about growing your business online. So how do you host your own summit? How do you start your courses? And then Kajabi as a platform, we do coaching like that. Cheryl and I are talking about doing some work together because she also does that. So we just hosted a summit spectacular, which was all about summits. and hosting your own summit. And we have a program that's starting, our new one starts in January. And so, yeah, so we have lots going on. And yeah, and then I have a nonprofit. So all of this comes from, I honestly was in the darkest place of my life, you know, suicidal, depression was so bad, and there just wasn't enough help here. I think mental health there's never enough help. And I started journaling, and from journaling I started painting again. From painting again I started, and more. And as I started to tap inwards instead of expecting everybody outside to look after me. And I'm not saying that people can cure themselves. That's not what I'm saying. I also took medication. But I started to look more and more inside. And from that grew all of this, from that. And working from the side of my desk, right? Until I had to make a choice, and I made the wrong choice, and then I lost my job. So I had to make the choice.
Yeah. The universe conspired with you.
Yes. So I was, it was like, okay, it's getting too big. No, I'm going to keep the safety. I'm going to keep the safety of the job. And then the job was like, yeah, no, you can't have that. So yeah. And here we are.
I love it. I love it. It's like when you're working and doing something that is just not satisfying, and you feel so empty. Yeah. And then it's like, thank you, pandemic, for like driving it home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like this work is not worthy of me.
And they can do so much more for others. And that's what it is. It's all about serving others. And that fills me up. Right? Yeah. I just love that part.
That's great. I can't wait to do more of this intuitive journaling. Like I can't wait.
Like, this whole thing was for you, my best friend in the world.
Thank you so
Masterclass 1111 was for you.
You know what was weird is when my connection dropped, I looked at the clock and it was 11:11.
I got chills.
It did. It was like, wow.
She has been the person that showed up for the entire process.
Yeah. And getting the most out of it.
And getting the most out of it. I didn't get that until you came on the stage, Larissa, because like she is a super creative. Sorry, I'm speaking of you as if you're not here, but this is my bad. You know, I've watched her maneuver and grow and expand, and it's always around something creative. And now she's working at a very cool creative organization, but there's still that thing. Like when you mentioned watercolors and all of that other stuff, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that part. I forgot about all of that. So there was a question I was going to ask. Oh, so Larissa, do you do any work with teens?
Not specifically. Like I don't have, you know, in the summer we had a kids program. So we had sort of a teens and then younger kids, but I wasn't teaching that. We had a teacher come in for that one, just to do lots of fun things for them. But I say sort of from 16 up. I don't have a problem with that at all.
That's what I'm actually talking about.
Yeah.
Because you know how I get my little intuitive hits. I think maybe you might want to start doing something around that. Right? Like there's so many children that are being impacted by this pandemic, especially, but they're dealing with depression, bipolar experiences, things of that nature. And they need a space like this to come to.
Yeah.
Somewhere where they can, you know, get somebody holding space for them. We can hold space for the adults, but you have the gift as well to hold space for the younger people and transform their lives because you've got the experience of what it is. And Nick talked to us about the experience and how important the experience is, not the background of the experience, but giving an experience as well.
Yeah. And Dorothea, we also have a twice weekly join us for creation. Everybody just works on their own creative endeavors,
nice.
called Create With Me. So
Nice.
yeah,
Can you
we do
drop
that.
that in the chat? A link for
I
that.
sure can. I just have to go
Hey,
back.
Patty.
Thank you, Larissa.
You're welcome. I think showing up, you're going to get just the most from this. I just think that's amazing. You know,
That was amazing to
It
me.
really was. It was. Cheryl, I can't wait to share with what questions I had and what the crazy answers were. But I'm excited about it, right?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I was sharing with Cheryl earlier this week. I created this visual journal, my visual aspirations, and I was showing her. I said, it was this photo of a space to work. I love pre-war homes, and but it has to be. I don't want a house. I want an apartment, and it has to be big enough so that I can create in it. It also has to be a place that I can, or I'm also hoping for a place that it can be my refuge. And perhaps even having an old-fashioned dark room in there. And so I said, when I was going through your exercise, and I said, where will it be? And it said Chicago. I don't know anything about Chicago, but I know that they have that type of architecture there.
And I was going to say the architecture in Chicago is
yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows where you'll end up? Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But it was, wow. And it's metropolitan enough, right? So anyway, we'll see what happens, but it was uncomfortable. It was like,
I don't know that place.
You're like, I don't need to go back to the cold.
I was thinking about the winters. Yeah.
But maybe it's a part-time thing. Maybe you're not there all the time. Maybe,
exactly.
Freedom.
Yeah. Maybe it's a landing spot.
Freedom.
Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Let's see.
Thank you so much, Larissa.
That was so rich.
Do you have a special offer for our guests?
I do. So the do you have the link there? I don't know if I have the link handy. I had it on my sheet and then I don't know what I did with it.
I have Creative View.
Yes, I've got for the free intuitive journaling, the exercise and guided meditation is there.
So it will be in the portal form. The link you gave me for your freebie. Are you talking about your freebie?
Yes.
No, I'm asking, do you have an upsell?
Oh, you didn't ask me that before.
I kind of.
You probably did. I've had so much going on.
Right. It's kind of the nature of.
Yeah. I've told you so many wonderful things. I know. I've told you so many wonderful things. That was my upsell, is just all the great things I have on sale right now, because I'm just so grateful for the community that I have. And so go and check that out. And just as a side note, watercolor piqued your interest. I'm just putting together Watercolor Wonder, which is taking all our past summit hosts that have, or not hosts, but the presenters that have done watercolor. It's just going to be watercolor. And that's coming in December.
Okay.
So just in time for people to enjoy it over the holidays.
That sounds amazing.
So it's a reflection of the work that they've done, or pulling everybody together to learn how to do
we've done, all their summits are mixed, right? Different workshops. And this one's just, I'm going to pull out all the watercolor ones. I'm just in the process of doing that. So there'll be different presenters, but every watercolor workshop that we've had in the past will go in that one. So all the watercolor is there.
Oh, very cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'm just partway through that to release in December. So
that's so awesome. So Larissa, thank you so much for this time. I appreciate you. I learned so much about you, even though I spend every Monday with you. I had no idea how rich and beautiful and mind-blowing all of the things are that you're doing. Is just lovely. It piques my creativity. I want to get in there and play.
And there's so many different, creativity is in everything we do. It doesn't have to be painting. It doesn't have to, it could be gardening, baking, starting a business, right? Creativity is in everything we do. So,
Right.
right.
yeah.
I am going to leave you. I'm not going to work, but I'm going to go out right now. So
Yay.
It's a pleasure meeting
no
you.
working on the
No
weekends.
enjoy, no working on the weekends. And thank you so much for your time.
All
Thank
right.
you.
It was nice to meet you, Dorothea.
You too, Larissa. Thank you.
Bye, Patty.